Hello friends, I am from Biology faculty of QLS Academy. Today we are going to learn about nutrition in animals. I am sure you will all enjoy today's learning. Let's start with our lesson. In previous lesson we learned about how the food we eat gets digested. We learned about different organs like mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, etc. and their role in the process of digestion. Apart from these different organs, there are different glands which also helps in the digestion process. First is the salivary gland. Salivary glands are present inside the buccal cavity. They secrete saliva which helps in the lubrication of food. This saliva plays an important role in breaking down complex components like starch into simple sugars. It brings about partial digestion of starch. Second gland is liver. Liver is the largest gland in our body. The liver secretes a yellowish green watery fluid called as bile. It is temporarily stored in a sac called as gallbladder as shown in the figure. Now, what is the function of bile? It provides an alkaline environment for many other enzymes to get active. बहुत से एंजाइम्स को alkaline मतलब slightly basic environment की ज़रूरत होती है जो bile juice provide करता है. It also reduces the acidity of chyme. Do you remember chyme which we have studied in previous lesson? Bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. Bile is sent into duodenum through a narrow tube-like structure called as bile duct. Bile then breaks the large fat molecules into tiny droplets, thereby increasing their surface area which helps in the digestion of fats easily. Third gland is the pancreas. Pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice that helps in the digestion of carbohydrate, proteins and fats. The pancreatic juice converts carbohydrate into simple sugars and glucose, proteins into amino acids and the lipids into fatty acids and glycerols. Now let's talk about digestion and ruminants. Now do you think that all kinds of animals have same kind of digestion process? Have you seen cows, buffalo and other types of grass eating animals? आपने नोटिस किया होगा कि cows and buffaloes वगैरह जब एक जगह बैठते हैं तो उनका मुंह लगातार चलता रहता है. These type of grass eating animals are called as ruminants. They are hoofed animals whose body stands on four limbs. Ruminants include cow, buffalo, sheep, giraffe, camel, deer, etc. These all are herbivores since they consume plants as their food. They possess special type of digestive tract which extracts nutrition from the food they eat. Ruminants swallow the food without chewing and store it in a separate part of the stomach which is called as rumen. In rumen, the food gets partially digested and is called as cud. Again, after some time when they rest, they bring the food from the stomach back into their mouth and then they chew it. This process is called as rumination and such animals are called as ruminants. Now, many of you might wonder कि घास हम भी तो खा सकते हैं, हम क्यों नहीं खाते हैं? We cannot because we don't have the necessary bacteria in our intestine that make the enzyme that is cellulase necessary to break the cellulose into its constituent glucose molecules as we do with starch. Recall we have learned about symbiosis in previous class. Digestion in ruminant is a good example of symbiosis. Microorganisms present in the stomach of ruminants help in digestion of cellulose and in turn obtain shelter and nourishment from the animals. A symbiotic relationship exists between microorganisms and the ruminants. Now let's talk about digestion in amoeba. Amoeba is a microscopic unicellular eukaryotic organism. Unicellular means they are made up of only one cell. An amoeba contains jelly-like cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, the cell organelles like nucleus, food vacuoles and contractile vacuoles are present. An amoeba takes in oxygen and gives off carbon dioxide through the cell membrane by the mechanism of diffusion. It takes and dissolves oxygen from the water. An amoeba can move in all directions using a temporary feet-like structure called the pseudopodia. Pseudopodia are used to capture food as well as for locomotion. It can change its shape with the help of these pseudopodia to exhibit locomotion. Amoeba does not possess any mouth. उनके पास mouth नहीं होता है. it can ingest through any place on the surface of the cell membrane. They have a sense of ability to accept food molecules and reject non-food particles. Amoeba extends its pseudopodia when the food is found. Then pseudopodia just wraps around the food molecule and form a food vacuole around it. An amoeba engulfs its prey along with the droplets of water in the food vacuole inside the cytoplasm. The prey can be killed and digested with the help of digestive enzymes secreted by the food vacuole. The undigested food is then sent out through an opening appearing on the vacuole by changing the shape of the body. This process is called as egestion. Now, a totally different topic, that is tooth decay. Students, आपके पेरेंट्स रोज रात में आप लोग को परेशान करते होंगे कि ब्रश करके सोएं. अब रात में ब्रश करना इतना इम्पॉर्टेंट क्यों है? Before we answer this question, we need to understand what is tooth decay. Tooth decay is a damage that occurs when germs, that is bacteria in your mouth, make acids that eat away at the tooth. It can lead to hole in the tooth called as cavity. If not treated, tooth decay can cause pain, infection and ultimately tooth loss. Now, what causes tooth decay? Bacteria and food can cause tooth decay. A clear sticky substance called as plaque is always forming on your teeth and gums. Plaque contains bacteria that feeds on the sugars in the food you eat. As the bacteria feed, they make acids. These acids attack the teeth for 20 minutes or more after you eat. Over time, these acids then destroy tooth enamel, causing tooth decay. So students, it is very necessary to brush your teeth regularly after having dinner. So students, to conclude this chapter, we learned about the basic process of digestion of food and release of energy is the same in all animals. I hope you enjoyed the learning the process of digestion in different organisms. If you have any more doubts, you can go to the following link.